Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I'm Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. How are you today, sir?
Fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm cold. This room, the Rum Dum Studios, gets colder and colder as the spring progresses.
It's not going to be long though, buddy. It's March now.
I didn't wear my slippers, and my little toesies are cold down here, bub. Little toesies are cold.
You have to tuck them up under. You're going to have to sit on your feet, maybe.
Yeah, I pull them up on the little bar underneath the seat. That's how we're going to roll today.
That's how I always sit. I tuck my feet under me.
Do you really?
Always.
Show me what you're talking about.
I'll do that. But like when I'm like at games or at work.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tuck them.
I thought you were talking about like tucking them up underneath your butt.
No.
I don't even know if my knees can do that.
On the couch, I'll do that.
You sit like on your feet, under your butt.
Sometimes, usually like 1 foot.
1 foot.
Yeah,
I can do 1 foot.
Yeah.
2 feet. That feels like that hurts.
Not 2 feet.
But yeah, the foot up on the first bar underneath the seat. That's my go-to.
Yeah,
that's definitely my go-to.
I feel like it's not good for me. Like long term, going to be bad for my knees or something.
Really?
But I don't know.
A little more bend than down here. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. On that note, let's get in. Let's see. So we've got some stories. There's not a lot going on this week, right? We've got March Madness getting ready to kick off. My favorite part is probably this week, which is the conference tournaments, which are way more fun, if you ask me. I don't know about way more fun,
but it's the start of March Madness.
Exactly.
It's the start of the best sports month of the year, in my opinion.
Absolutely. So that's not till next week. We'll go next Wednesday. We'll probably do an entire show or most of the show on the tournament.
Yep.
I'm totally down for that. We'll print some stuff up. Maybe we'll make a bet. We'll have a bet for sure on our bracket ourselves.
Yep.
Neither of us are a sheet of integrity kind of guy. I don't think. I'm a multiple sheet guy, and they're all different every single time.
Yep.
And then we also have got today a little bit of we've got our Reese's. That's what I was saying. What we don't have going on, there's no baseball. The NBA is going on. Maybe we'll talk a little John Moran here in a little bit. NFL, we're in free agency, some weird cap time and franchise tag, which Lamar Jackson got a franchise tag. We're not going to get too deep into that because we never do. So what we're going to talk about today is just going to be a few fun stories, a little John Morant, kick it into the Mount Rushmore of UK basketball players, and then we'll talk some comedy. But to start, we're going to go with our Reese's for the day. Adam, I got you here, bud. You're going to need a spoon for this one.
Which is exciting. I need utensils.
Yes. So this is the Reese's Colliders layered. This is peanut butter flavored dessert with rich milk chocolate topping.
So it's called,
it's called a collider.
It's dessert with topping.
It's
right. It's not pudding. I thought it was going to be pudding.
I thought this was pudding too. Is this not pudding? What is this?
It's dessert with topping.
It's peanut butter flavored dessert with rich milk chocolate topping. This is going to be really good chocolate peanut butter pudding is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's chocolate peanut butter pudding. Be honest about it.
Gosh, yes, sir.
All right.
So first thing is there's a layer of chocolate and then peanut butter. Ready? Peanut butter underneath. Do you dig the spoon into the bottom?
Absolutely. No, you're not scraping just the chocolate off. You got to get the mix.
But I was gonna say, do you mix it first, or do you just go?
I'm like I'm eating Skyline, just out of a corner and just go down and dig and keep going till you get to the end.
Yeah. Remember when we took
Autumn?
When we took Bobby to
Bobby Nightingale.
Yeah. And the lady told him there was a proper way to eat
it. Yep. She said you have to eat it that way. And we're like, actually, Bobby, you can eat it however you want, bud.
Yeah.
So Adam's going to mix. I'm going to just spoon it out. Mm-hmm. I'm interested to know what you think. Oh, okay. All right. This is pudding. Whatever they want to say, this is pudding. First bite, first impressions.
Yeah. Yeah. It is just like pudding, like snack pack. And it has the peanut butter. It has the chocolate.
Not a lot of chocolate. Much more peanut butter than chocolate.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily taste like the Reese's cup that you're used to. Still good.
I have zero Reese's flavor in any of this.
Yeah, it's just a chocolate and a peanut butter. But I don't know. Maybe that's
Even
harder
if you
to get into
just
pudding.
even if you just do the peanut butter.
Because it's a different type of peanut butter.
Yeah, it's pudding.
It's peanut butter flavored fat or whatever pudding is. Fat and sugar.
That's I got a little weird chocolate down in the middle area right there.
All right.
This is
the more I eat it, the more I like it.
Yeah, I mean it's good. I mean, I give it a solid 8.8.
Okay.
But I was hoping for a little more Reese's peanut butter flavor.
Yeah. Yep, I'm with you. I'm gonna say
that's the best part of the podcast.
Yeah. Not to listen to, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure it's terrible to listen to.
This reminds me of I just can't stop thinking about Billy Madison when he looks at his lunch and he screams at the lady, "You know I like snack pack."
What do you got, buddy? What are you doing here?
You got 8.8. I've got 9.1.
Whoa, okay. Yep, we're pretty close.
9.1. I'm going new notebook now because I'm so tired of those pages falling out of that other one.
Wow. New notebook for Adam Schmidt. We'll never be able to look anything up again.
Yep. No, I'll keep it in the archives.
There you go. Yeah. All right, Adam. So now that the Reese's is done, I got a little something I wanted to talk to you about.
Please do.
So
I'm so excited.
big weekend for first weekend of baseball. Very sad for basketball to be over, but it's first weekend of baseball. We talked about this last week. The boys came out and played their butts off, man.
Love it.
We got we ended up getting second place. They got a ring. They got their little championship ring. And the coolest part about it,
second place ring.
Yeah, first and second both get a ring.
Okay.
So, and they're monsters, dude. They look like monster championship rings. He's got a couple of these things now. They're pretty cool. The kids love it. That's what the kid like. They don't get trophies anymore. They get championship rings, right? So, first and second usually get a trophy. Now first and second get a ring. And so the coolest part about this whole thing is we get done, the game's over. We lost on a tough play. We were leading going into the bottom of the inning and lost in this championship. We'll just leave it at that. Game's over. Announce all the kids. And they go up there, get their stuff. The other team does. And then randomly out of nowhere, the kids just start walking towards each other and showing each other their rings and talking about what they did. Well, it was like 5 minutes of them just talking to each other, the two teams, two total different sides of the city. Nobody knows anybody from either team, neither kid. Random act of, and I'm talking just random act of sportsmanship that was really, really, really cool when you got to deal with a lot of crap. And we had to deal with some crap during the tournament. There's a couple teams out there that not a fan of, but it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. I heard about that, and that was very, very cool.
Just wanted, I guess my point of this is to say, everybody gives youth athletics a lot of crap. And, because, especially I get this a lot, like, oh, you've been playing baseball since December. You're the first weekend of March and you're playing baseball. Oh my God, it's too much. You just burn these kids love it, man. And they enjoy it. And they went out and showed some really cool stuff out there.
That's awesome. I love that. I feel like you see those kinds of things, like social media is so full of negativity and stuff, but once in a while you see other people post stories like that, and it's like you're like, oh my God, thank God for a decent story on social media.
Absolutely.
And then you get to be part of one.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
big part of it.
Big part of it. Yep. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
So anyway, so Saturday after our first couple games, championship was on Sunday. So first couple games, we go to Jim and Jack's. And you shouldn't be at Jim and Jack's unless you're at least 60 years old. I found out.
Right.
That's for sure. At least at night. Like I've been to Jim and Jack's during the day. I've been to some fundraisers at Jim and Jack's. Yeah, never been to Jim and Jack's just like at night hanging out. And went down there with pops and mom, and you had to be 60 to be there.
Okay.
Unless you were someone's son or daughter, which there wasn't very many of us, but there was maybe 4 people under 60. So having a cocktail and go to the bathroom real quick. Go to the bathroom, and there's a gentleman standing with his pants all the way up, their jeans, and they're on, facing the urinal with his one hand looking at a phone, the other hand on his hip, and he just pulled his thing out through the zipper of his, and he was standing there. He was standing there when I got in there. He was standing there throughout my entire urination and was still standing there when I left, just playing on his phone at the urinal about 1.5 feet away from the urinal. He didn't need 1.5 feet. I just don't what is going on once you hit that age of where is the age of I don't care?
Yeah,
where is that? When
there.
does that hit? Where does that age hit?
I don't know for sure. I'm not there yet, but it feels like it's probably not too far away. But for sure, man, the older you get, you start buying the Air Monarchs, and you get, and you.
It's weird. Like you walk in and there's, maybe 2 or 3 stalls there or whatever, urinals, and you just notice that a guy's got a tucked in shirt with a belt on, and he's still standing at the urinal, not just hands free, playing on his phone. No idea what's going on. No idea.
There's a bunch of stuff I feel like I have for this, but one thing is I've never, a lot of people take their phone in there when they're
dropping a deuce.
dropping 2.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
And you sit on the phone and do that, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're at home.
Yeah.
If you have a few minutes, if you don't have anything really going on or anything to do, that's the best feeling is when you just get home from work.
That's my favorite time to
you
poop.
Gotta go.
Yep.
And you're like, I don't have to be anywhere or do anything for like the next couple hours or something.
Yeah.
I have time to sit here and relax.
I'm gonna go until my legs fall asleep.
Yeah. That's the best feeling.
No doubt.
The best. And
my son keeps track. He has a record. He says, I couldn't beat my record today because we have to yell at him to get out when he gets on his phone.
Gotcha. Couldn't beat my record.
I only went 40 minutes today, Dad. I didn't get my record.
40, wow. Yeah, I've never seen it at the urinal. I've never seen somebody just hanging out.
Never in my life. And he was hanging out, all right. Through the little zipper. That's the other part I don't understand.
Thank you.
It's got to be because he wanted to have his hands free and not have to hold his drawers up.
But the other, I guess, but his other hand's just on his hip.
Yeah, he's just kind of hanging, man. He's just chilling.
I don't, this is going to be too much. I don't do anything in the bathroom hands free.
No, no. I don't know, man.
Number 1 or number 2. I feel like there's just got to be. I'm too careful about it or something. I gotta
make sure you got a little aim because you never know. The old what was it? Liar, Liar. I remember being a kid watching Liar, Liar, and guy always asked Jim Carrey, "How's it hanging?" And he says, and he's like, "Hey, good. How are you?" But then when he got to where he couldn't lie, my favorite line ever, short, shriveled, and a little to the left. It's my favorite line ever. And I'm going to tell you, if you just stand there, that bad boy is shooting dead left. Like it's hanging to left.
I don't understand people not.
Doesn't make any sense. You got to give her a little twitch. You know what I mean? Just got to, just a little handle on the steering wheel.
Sure. It's like the guide hand in basketball. It's just there to guide.
It's there to guide. It's not a lot of pressure. It's not doing a lot of work.
No. Just keep that thing straight.
That's right, baby. Just keep that thing straight.
That's a very interesting story. I thought this was going to be a big to do with you in the stall or something like that. but
No,
that's
no,
cool.
None, just one of the weirdest things. And when it happened, I didn't say anything to anybody. Like, I came out and a couple of the aunts were there, and mom and dad, and a couple of dad's pops buddies from high school, and I'm not gonna talk to these people about it.
You're like, I'm saving this for Wednesday.
I'm saving this for Wednesday. I want to know what the people think. What is the age that you just don't care anymore? That nothing matters. It don't matter.
No. I mean, some of the outfits you see with people that look like they're in that space now, it's very interesting.
It's very interesting. Is correct.
That's
very
funny.
Interesting. Is correct.
So I have a little bit of a bathroom thing too, and this is going to be off the beaten path as well. Probably not what you're expecting.
I love it.
So I go to the Sklar Brothers show this past weekend.
Yes.
All right, and I'll talk about that later. But I go with my buddy. We hang out like maybe once a year, probably more.
Gotcha.
But I've known him for 20 something years, so probably 25 years. But so we're hanging. So it's at the casino, casino in Lawrenceburg.
Gotcha.
Okay? And so we get there kind of early. Purposely, we're going to eat something. We're going to maybe just walk around the casino a little bit and watch those kind of people.
Absolutely.
Watch the people who don't care and the people who are just,
watch some people in house slippers, sweat pajama pants, and a bonnet.
Oh yes. Yes. Yes.
That's a foreshadowing for later.
Yep. I did definitely see plenty of sweatpants. Yeah, I mean, and the casino is just, it's what do you call it? Like sight and sound and it's just, it's overwhelming and
sensory
overload. Thank you. But we're walking around. No, first of all, we're walking in and there's a guy there at the beginning and he's checking your ID, right? So we're standing behind a couple people that are getting their IDs checked, and I glance behind me, and the Sklar brothers are standing behind us.
Are you kidding me?
Walking into the casino right behind us.
What?
So I hit my buddy. I'm like, there they are right there. And so now I'm embarrassed. Now I'm worried that he's going to say something to them because I'm like, no, leave him alone. And
now I'm going to be honest with you. I would have turned around if it were me. I'm not causing a scene, not asking for autographs. I just would have turned around and be like, hey, man, super excited about the show tonight. I can't wait.
I thought about saying,
I don't feel like that's out of place. I feel like they'd be like, hey, man, thanks for coming. We appreciate it.
And they seem like very down to earth.
Absolutely. I mean, they're standing in line to get in and have their IDs checked.
Yeah.
Not coming in some back entrance which makes no sense to me.
Right. Which, by the way, I get up to the thing and I get my ID out.
You didn't need it.
He goes,
you're good. Nah, you're good. Yep. I've been getting it at the casino now for a while. I don't go to the casino a lot, but I go probably 2-3 times a year, whether it's to watch horse racing or for our golf trips at a casino. A couple golf trips are at casinos. And I pull it out, and now I don't even let them say anything. I hand it to them anyway. Had an old lady. She said, "You're good, sweetie." I said, you need to look at that. She said, "Yep, like I said, you're good." I said, I appreciate that. I just wanted you to check it.
Just so you can say you got ID'd.
Yeah. I got a good ID story after this. So continue.
So we walk in, they walk in right behind us, and they're with some other guy. And so we're walking like the length of the thing. You walk down almost kind of like a long, almost sort of a hallway, but there's games on both sides and stuff. And then it kind of opens up into the whole thing. Well, we're walking through the whole thing, and we go almost all the way to the back of the place, at least to the middle.
Okay.
And they're right behind us the entire time. Then eventually we kind of like scoot over and they walk like right next to us and ahead a little bit. So we're like plenty of opportunity to talk to them if we wanted to.
And your boy didn't do it?
No. He threatened to because he loves to embarrass me. So, but no, he didn't.
I 100% know.
Yeah. No, I really did think about it because then.
But then the thing is if you just turn around and you're cool about it, you're like, oh man, hey, we're coming to see you guys tonight. Super stoked for the show. And then turn around, maybe you get a little more like, oh, hey, you guys from around here? And it's like, yeah, we are. And next thing you know, you might become best friends with Sklar brothers.
I know. If I wasn't such a socially uncomfortable guy.
Yeah. I'm just saying, let them do it. Let them be the ones.
Yeah, you're
I'm
right.
surprised they didn't look at you and go,
I
hey,
played
are
that
you the
scenario out
freshman-
in my mind.
are you the
Trust
high
me.
school freshman basketball coach at Oak Hills?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's the thing. I don't want to be recognized for that. So I figured they might, they might say something about that. But anyway, so they go on, and then we start kind of walking around and stuff, and we take a couple laps and just look around what's going on. And then we eventually stop, and up the escalator comes the Sklar brothers again, and they're standing maybe 25 feet away from us with this other guy, and they're just standing right there, and we're just standing right there. Nobody's talking to them. Nobody stops. Nobody recognizes them or stops them or talks to them the entire time we saw them.
And they're there for their show. So there's got to be 1,000 people there for their show. How many people? How many? The place doesn't probably hold 1,000. Maybe
this was part of the thing about this story.
Take on it.
It was very. I'll just say it now. Embarrassing. It was.
What?
It was in this. It was in the ballroom.
I know
there.
where that big ballroom is.
It's
That's where I
downstairs.
went to go watch Mike Tyson
Oh, okay.
when he did his one-man show.
Okay.
It was there. I know exactly where you're at.
It looks like maybe it only seats a couple hundred, maybe.
Yeah. That's why I said 1,000. I was like, probably didn't see that
And
much.
it was not full.
Wow.
It was not full. I was surprised by that. Doing a show in Lawrenceburg is one thing. I feel like they would get more people if they did the Taft Theater or
Yeah, but that's Cincinnati still, basically.
yeah, but it's sort of not too, I think.
Yeah, I guess it's 70, 75 and west and south of 74. Like
it isn't far, but I feel like people just either didn't know about the show or didn't go to it for some reason. I don't know. It was a Saturday night. I don't know. But so anyway, we have a bunch of opportunities to talk to the guys. They're right there. And then they walk right past us again to go over, and then they go sit at the little bar or whatever, which a little while later they had some country band playing. I guess some band that a lot of people knew because there were people there to see them too.
More people for the
Probably just as
hometown
many.
country band than there was for the actual Sklar Brothers comedy show.
Just as many. But anyway, so yeah, eventually we go down and see the show. The guy that opened for him was a local guy. I didn't know who he was, David something. Don't remember his name, but he bombed. He had a tough time, buddy.
Yeah.
He had a tough time. I felt really bad because, first of all, I mean, sometimes like comedians talk about how the crowd is good or bad.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes I think like, okay, but if you think the crowd was bad, isn't some of that just you not being very good?
And I think
I think
sometimes when they say that, it's more like, all right, because sometimes people need a certain type of crowd. So maybe a bad crowd for them is just a crowd that isn't going to get this. They can tell the exact same joke the exact same way and get another crowd to be dying laughing, but it's just not the right mix of personalities, if you will.
Totally right.
Senses of humor.
For some reason, there weren't a lot of laughs for that first guy. He had a couple jokes that weren't bad, but he didn't look totally comfortable. I don't know how long he had been doing it, but he opened but then the Sklar brothers came on and they were awesome. I mean,
they always are. The way they can talk so fast and not make it seem, it seems like it doesn't seem planned out.
Right.
That's unbelievable to me.
They talk over each other and make it sound good.
Yeah.
They make it work by like talking over each other. And I mean, I think some of that is they do it on purpose. Like they know exactly where they're jumping in.
Yep.
But a lot of it is they have an idea, they know what they're going to say, but it might be tweaked a little bit show to show or whatever, just the same theme, same jokes, but the way they do it, the way they, I'm sure they have the same guy says the same thing, or maybe this would. Can
I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did you run into the Sklar brothers in the bathroom?
I did not.
Oh, I thought that's where this whole thing was going.
I wish. So this is where it's going. Sklar show was great. it was fantastic. I was disappointed in the crowd and in just the people that didn't show up, I guess. But and they were joking about we're doing it, we're playing in the basement of a casino. They made a Pete Rose likes little girls joke to open it up.
There you go.
And how he's a gambling addict and all that kind. I mean, they were as a matter of fact. So one more quick thing. So we're sitting there, and we get there, we're sitting third row, okay, almost dead center.
Yeah.
Fantastic seats. And we're sitting there, and then people start filing in, and people are sitting around us. So there's a couple that comes in the other side and sits next to my friend. And the guy and him start talking a little bit, and then his wife leans over and says, "Hey, I have my elderly parents here with me." She said, "Are these guys like dirty or?" And he looks at me, he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think, they can
They
joke
can,
about
yeah.
some things, but they're not too bad. I don't
They're
think.
not like you're not coming to see Whitney Cummings.
Right. They had at least 2 or 3 jokes that I'm like, I look over like,
Oh,
"Ooh,
sorry.
I was wrong."
Oh,
They went all out on some of them, but very, very, very funny. So here's the thing. My buddy that I went with, all right, he spends a lot of the night really selling me on the bidet. He
This
says,
is awesome.
he says,
So stoked. about
I
this.
am
Yeah.
I am a huge bidet guy now.
Okay.
He said, I for whatever reason, somebody told me about it or something, or I tried it, got one on Amazon, $30.
Yep. Hook it up
Easy
to
to
the toilet.
install.
Yep.
There it
It's got
goes.
its own nozzle cleaner on it and everything.
He said, there you can go from $30 to $5,000.
$5,000.
They have all
Yep.
kinds. So he says, he explains the whole thing, how this one works,
Yeah.
that he uses and stuff. He's like, I've got 30 people that I know that now own bidets and adore them.
100%. I'm with this guy right now. I'm
Okay.
all in with this guy.
All right. So he's like, you have to get one. You have to.
Did you buy a bidet?
I told him, I said, you know what? I've been thinking about it for a long time.
Okay.
I think you might have just convinced me. Now, it would have been easy, and I probably would have just gone home and forgotten all about it and not cared about it, because I just don't want to deal with having to order it and putting it in and all that. He sends me the link later that night.
Yes.
I'm like, all right.
So purchase made.
Purchase made.
All right.
There. Haven't put it in yet, but before I came here, I opened it up and looked at everything.
You
Doesn't look too
understand?
bad.
Yeah, it's pretty. You just hook up a little. It's just got an attachment to your shut off to the
Mhm.
toilet.
Yep.
Hook her bad boy up. Hook it to the toilet seat. Good to go.
I'm nervous, but I'm going to give it a shot.
Now let me tell you something. First off, okay.
Don't turn it on all the way. Right?
Well, I mean, that's preference, my man. Here's the thing. So this bed, it's not like a French bidet, like it, or whatever, wherever they come from, and like they shoot straight up in the air. Okay, right. These bad boys are on an angle. Okay. Now, for 1 year we do gift exchanges, like we have a tool exchange and we do stuff like that. Danny opened up the bidet that I bought. Danny uses the bidet that I bought. He tells me about it. He says it's awesome. My brother-in-law opened the one up for the other side. It's still sitting in his bathroom. Never put it in there. I'm about to just take it. But here's the deal. So at work, we got one.
Oh,
okay. And nobody uses it. They think it's ridiculous and they can't believe it. And I'm like, I'm going in there. So we get this new place about a year ago. And we're talking about the bidet and how great it is. Like, you guys got to do this. I'm telling you. They're like, well, what do we just put rags in there? So you're supposed to cut out toilet paper? I said, oh no, I still finish up with toilet paper. I'm not like doing this to save the earth. I'm doing it to get a little fresh and clean, a little fresher and cleaner than I was. All of a sudden, this guy goes to the bathroom, comes back out. and he's soaking wet. He's standing in front of the toilet, turns the knob on, and it shoots like a flipping jet engine right into his chest, soaking wet. So be careful. There's a big wet stain on the on the wall in front of it where you could tell this is not the first time that happened. Somebody turned that knob and it shot across the damn thing. So I will tell you that. Now, some of them have a for females has a female setting. So you can some of them just have the one, and then some you turn to female, and it'll just come up and get you into taint a little bit if you're into a little. Now that's a little
Reaches out a little further.
Reaches out a little further. Yeah, it hits you in the taint or the backside of the sack.
Sure.
But tickle the sack a little bit. But why not? You know what I mean? That's a tough. I mean, it's a stinky part. You know what I mean? It's a stinky part. So, but anyway, the bidet. I'm telling you, you hit that thing. Now, here's the thing, though. You know how people always talk about, oh man, clenched up, oh boy, you puckered your butthole up or whatever. It really made me pucker up. Like go down a hill on a roller coaster, stuff like that. Don't
you tighten, you clench.
Don't clench, bud. Don't clench. Don't clench. You have to purposely give it the old exhale as you go. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay. But don't clench and hold that up there, because then it's a weird feeling the rest of the day. It's like you just can't get a couple drops out of your butthole.
That's what I'm worried about. A couple things. So that, all right. And then he was telling me about technique and all this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%. You'll get used to it. You'll know. The weird thing is when you go to drop a deuce and you like sit back to relax and you feel, what was that? It's the little nozzle push up. So you got to kind of give yourself a little space. You got to scoot up a little.
I don't relax. I mean, I'll relax myself, but I'm up front.
You're up on the knees.
I'm up front. Yeah.
But sometimes you're up front and it scoots your booty back. Just gotta be careful. That's all I'm saying.
I got you.
I'm just saying.
So that's the other thing I've always been worried about with the bidet is, am I not going to get crap on it? I mean,
so it's got a nozzle cleaner, and I'll explain. So this thing. Okay, so it's, you saw how it works. It's got the little cylinder in the very back of the attachment that goes on your toilet seat. That's where water shoots out. If you look at it when it's closed, there's nothing. It's just a cylinder. Okay. When you turn it on, that cylinder turns itself around, and then water comes out.
Okay.
As you turn it, and you turn it back, close it, turns around. So then it has nozzle cleaner where you turn the water on and it keeps it closed right there. So the actual nozzle itself can clean itself by spraying into that. But you gotta wash it just like you wash the underneath your toilet seat if you got a little explosion action going on. You know what I mean? Okay. I mean, you never know. Okay. But yeah, it's got a nozzle cleaner though that you can use. Hit that real quick just in case. Water will kind of spit around a little bit, but not getting right up on you. Make sure in case there was any particles on the tip of the nozzle getting ready to go into the anus, that it cleans itself off before you got nice, fresh, clean water.
Okay. As clean as toilet water can be, but
it's as clean as tap water. It's the same thing that's coming out of your tap.
Yeah.
That's how clean it is.
Except you don't poop in your sink.
No, you
right,
don't.
Right in front of the nozzle where it
no,
comes out.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not right in front. It's closed off. The nozzle's not exposed while you're dropping a deuce.
Right. Yeah. But the structure is still there on.
That's why you give it a quick turn it on, clean it all off, make sure that the water sprays all over, and then turn it off, and then open her back up. Boom, hit yourself, and now you've got fresh and clean.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you're spraying your butthole. Doesn't matter if it's. I mean, what's the difference?
It's so
the
weird.
water is getting ready to get dirty.
It's gonna take me some getting used to for sure. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I've heard almost every single person I've ever heard talk about it says it's outstanding.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I use the flushable wipes. That's an amazing.
That's
feeling.
what I do as well.
That is an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
So if you're using the flushable wipes, you've got a clean butthole already. I mean, that's cleaner than any TP's gonna do you.
Yep.
But this right here, I don't know. So I'll tell you, man, you got to sit there for a second to get yourself, and you got to get a little movement going to make sure you get the entire crust in the entire circle. I mean, it depends on how big the old anus hole is. You know what I mean? To see how much you really gotta clean off. But I think it's I think I like my wipes better.
Yeah,
But I really enjoy a good bidet.
I get it. But
Like that.
okay, look, I'll report back when I get that thing installed,
so
probably this
stoked.
weekend.
Just be ready, because when you hit that first, and here's the other deal, it's cold.
Yeah,
It's cold water. You can buy the one that's got a hot water attachment, but then you got to run hot water over towards your bath. There's also one that runs through like a heat filament, but that one's got to be plugged in. Like, there's a lot of things that you can get into some fancy stuff going.
I don't think I'm gonna get there, but
Don't need it.
we'll
You
see.
don't need it. Look, it's just a little quick chill. Just don't pucker up, because you'll suck up a little bit of water when you do it.
He was telling me Howard Stern does that on purpose.
Really?
He's got a whole system. He gets
Oh, he
it.
like gets it in there and then shakes his butt around like you're
And then-
swishing water
I
around
guess
in your
so.
mouth.
I guess so.
Sounds like a loose butthole to me.
I don't. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about a loose. I don't want a loose butthole. I don't want to know
No.
that my butthole's loose enough to suck up and hold water. I don't want to know that.
I have. Boy, I'm not. I have no idea what it's gonna be. I don't know.
Just-
I might end up just being too scared to try it. I don't know.
No,
We'll see.
come on.
I-
Worst comes to worst, you set it up, you hook it up, you drop a deuce, let it fly,
that's what he said. He said
and then you don't like it. Guess what? You just take the thing back off
that's what my friend said too. He's like, if you don't like it, it's $30. You know,
and give it to your brother. I bet your brother would use it. There's
Maybe-
no chance.
maybe not after I have.
No. Well, I mean, clean it. Use bleach. Clean it.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. if
You're
it would
not
or
putting it in your mouth.
No, I mean, there's probably something on the internet where somebody drinks the bidet water. I'm guessing.
I mean, you could spray it out like a water fountain. I don't think there'd be anything wrong with that. It's as clean as the water that would come out of your sink. It's not touching your toilet water in any way. It's not touching the top deck toilet water in any way. It's literally coming straight out of the same pipe that your tap water comes out of. Yeah, get you a little drink of some water while you're at it. You stand in front, see if you can shoot it in somebody's mouth.
I'm just gonna tell everybody I got a water fountain.
I added a water fountain. When I'm done brushing my teeth,
I had
get
a
a drink of water like
I had a
this.
water fountain put in my bathroom.
I like it. I like it.
All right. Well, look, we've got maybe a couple more things to talk here. So let's go. We want to go through quickly what I did last weekend.
Yes.
I made a big purchase. I think I might
We
have
talked about it on
Okay.
the podcast. Yep. Because I
Alright.
talked about opening some baseball cards up.
That's right. So I found 3 boxes of cards on this website, this card shop in New York somewhere, and found some reasonably priced boxes. Got 87 Tops baseball,
Mhm.
88 Score baseball, and 89-90 NBA hoops. Big fan of all 3 of those.
So what did we pull? What did you pull? What kind of fire came out of these boxes?
The 87 Tops. I got myself the Pete Rose manager card.
Oh, okay. I like that. I like that.
I got a Barry
It's
Larkin.
At least 25 cents.
What's that worth? It's worth at least 25 cents. I got the Barry Larkin.
Okay.
Probably $1.50.
Eh.
Got what else in that one? I got a
Wait a minute.
oh,
87 Larkin.
Mhm.
Is that's not his rookie? 80,
I
86?
think 86 was rookie.
Yeah. Okay.
Tony Gwynn
Any TGs are always good.
and the All-Star Tony Gwynn.
Love the All-Star winner.
Cal Ripken. I think I got the Cal Ripken and the Cal Ripken All-Star as well.
Awesome.
Couple others. Turn Back the Clock. They had Turn Back the Clocks.
Turn
that
back
year.
the clocks. Those were so great.
Got Ricky Henderson. I had
What was the turn back the clock? What was it?
I forget. He had 1,000 stolen bases in a game one time or something. I forget. what it was.
okay. So it was for Ricky Henderson.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Couple Reggie Jackson Turn Back the Clocks. I didn't pull those. I'm trying to just think of the ones I put in plastics, but Anyway, yeah, a few things like that. The score, the 88 score, they have the different color borders. They're
Yep.
like purple and blue and yellow and
Green.
orange and green. I love those. I love the
Absolutely.
look, especially like the purple ones and the blue ones and stuff.
Yeah.
Eric Davis. I did get
Oh,
an
yeah,
ED in that
baby.
one.
Got the ED. I like it.
I got a Gwynn in that one, I'm pretty sure. Got a Ripken, Nolan Ryan. Who else? Barry Bonds in that one.
Got it.
Ozzie Smith,
Is that what year is that?
88. 88. I don't know that there were any big rookies
Yeah.
in that year, but anyway, yeah, just some cool, just plenty of Hall of Famers.
That's awesome. It's always fun to rip open a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, it was awesome. So, and then I went 89. So I opened those.
Puckett? You get puckets?
I did get a
There you
couple
go.
for
I like the pucket.
puckets.
I
Yep,
like the pucket.
absolutely. Opened the baseball Friday night. Okay. Spent hour and a half or something, 2 hours opening all those packs for those 2 boxes. Save the 89-90 hoops for Sunday night.
Oh, yeah. Baby.
All weekend long. I'm looking forward to that.
Stoked.
So I finally get to it Sunday night, and I'm opening those. It's the so these are the ones that are, there's like an arc, like it's the lane,
Yeah.
like the key, and they're white. It's a white border. They have the key, and then has the name across the top. Got a Jordan.
Yes. The most important one.
Most important one. I looked at it, so I don't pay for the Beckett thing, so I don't for the Beckett app. So I didn't actually get and then also it really depends on the rating that it would get, which
100%.
you don't really know that unless you send it in or
And you
whatever.
gotta, it costs $30 to send one of those things in. So your card has to be worth at least, $100 to even think about. But there are people that send in $3 cards to get graded, which is silly. But no, but the biggest question is centering, right? Like your corners are going to be phenomenal on a brand new pack. So centering, how was the centering?
You know what? I didn't even really think to look closely at that. So maybe I'll have to go back and do that. But I did I looked it up and saw like kind of what that card is being sold for online. And it looked like on average, probably what I have is somewhere around like 165 or so.
Wow, nice.
And then I also got the Jordan All-Star card in that year. And that one looks like it's being sold like around 125, 130, something like that.
Wow, couple nice cards there, boss.
Got a Bird, got an Akeem Olajuwon, David Robinson. Oh man, lots of good. Stockton, All-Star, Chris Mullen All-Star.
Oh, the Mullen.
I got a bunch of really, really good ones. A ton of Hall of Famers in that.
I love that. Any old cards are so much fun to play with.
Yeah. Yeah. And now that I really have looked, because for a while I was just kind of looking at Amazon.
Yeah.
And it's getting harder and harder to find boxes on there. So now I'm like trying to broaden my search, and I found this thing there. They had boxes for a couple $1,000s you could buy.
Sure.
But I found the ones that were
the ones where you could possibly pull a Griffey rookie or a Jordan rookie or stuff like that. You're going to pay more for them.
Yeah. But I'm totally happy. It's just the practice of in the anticipation of opening those cards from when we were kids, and I had a great time. So I'm talking to my cousin Jared, who was he was just as into baseball cards as we were. And he's like, yeah. I was like, hey, you want to come over and open some packs with me? And he's like, oh man, I would love. He's like, send me, what you get. Send me the good stuff you get. So, so I'm sending him. I'm like snapping a little picture every time I get something I know he would like or whatever. Sending him it, and then I start sending my brother all the funniest common cards of guys that you've never heard of. That look really funny, that have hilarious,
especially
names.
Back in the 80s.
Oh my!
In the early 90s. Oh,
there are so many of those.
Oh yeah.
And so I start sending him some of those. Some
The white
really
guy
fun-
from Drexel. I don't know who he is. I'm just
Yeah,
saying, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. And there were a bunch of basketball, but even more baseball. I
Oh
mean,
God, the baseball are so good.
oh my god,
The faces with the mustaches,
Lot of
so
mustaches.
many mustaches
Yeah.
in 80s and early 90s baseball. So many
Some
mustaches.
real goofy looking dudes, man, with
Oh,
some really
man.
funny names.
And they're not even like mullets, but they're because the hair's the same length front to back. It's just odd.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. So anyway, had a fun time doing that, but and got excited about every pack I was opening, got excited about something. Even if
Nice.
they were bad packs. Just remembering some of those old guys' names and stuff that I haven't seen in
Yep.
a long time.
Those are the other fun
So
ones
much
too.
fun.
When you're sitting there and you're like, Otis Nixon. Oh man,
Yeah.
hey,
Exactly.
hey, it's Willie McGee. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Stuff
Oh,
like that.
I got a couple Willies in there.
Oh yeah. Old long neck Willie.
Oh man.
That's
So
awesome.
anyway, yeah, that was fun. That
Good.
was fun.
I like to hear that.
Yep.
I like to hear that. So should we talk some sports that has gone down here recently?
Let's do
There's
it.
not a lot going on, but we've got a little something going on.
There's a lot going on.
There's
but
a lot
not
going on, but nothing that I don't, yeah.
anything
we're
worth
good.
really talking
Yeah,
about that
we
much.
good. So, however, our boy John Morant is in Utah of all places, right? Wasn't he in Utah? Denver. He was in Denver. Sorry, not Utah. He was in Denver. In Denver of all places, playing for because he plays for the Memphis Grizzlies, and he goes out to hang out after the game, and goes to the strip club and gets on his Instagram live and shows himself with a gun.
I think it was just a regular club.
No, it was a strip club.
Was it?
Everything
Oh.
I heard, it was a strip club.
Okay. All right. So I guess he's there. This is like the fourth incident in the last month or 2 months. or
Yeah.
something
So
like
the big thing on the tweet box and other places is this the first basketball player ever trying to get out of the NBA? Like
Right.
doing everything he can to get himself kicked out of the NBA.
Yeah. And
Instead
it's
of
not. Trust me, a lot of guys have done stuff.
yes, plenty.
So anyway, let's go real quick on some of the stuff that's been going on lately. So just about a month ago, there's an incident. They were playing in Indiana, all right, and the Pacers, some of the Pacers traveling staff or something, said he got into it with somebody there. In fact, following a game between the Indiana Pacers and Memphis Grizzlies on January 29th in Memphis, acquaintances of Grizzlies star John Morant aggressively confronted members of the Pacers traveling party near the team's bus in the loading area of FedEx Forum, and later someone in a slow-moving SUV, which Morant was riding in, trained a red laser on them. Let's see. No police report was filed. So, let's see. They believe the red laser was attached to a gun. Pacer security guard said that's 100% a gun. So yeah, that's what I heard back then, that he was seen with a gun, or somebody that was with him in the vehicle had a gun. And apparently there was a red laser on it. Unlike the laser pointers that we used to have.
Yeah, I mean, he
around with.
could have hooked a laser pointer onto it.
Maybe. Either way, if
Doubt
it's
it.
on a gun.
Yeah,
that's
probably
the
not a good idea.
And then just a week ago, there was a report of two separate incidents that have happened in the last handful of months or whatever. One was there was a pickup basketball game at Ja's house. I think this is in the off season, and things got heated, like for some reason, like pickup basketball games still do. And there was a 17-year-old kid that claimed that Ja showed him a gun and was like getting into it with him, and then showed him a gun, like, this is your future if you don't shut up or whatever.
Right.
I guess he said, or some people with him said, that the kid walked away still yelling at him, saying he's going to come back and blow his whole house up or something like that. So anyway, good time there. And then the finish line at the mall where his mom gets into a dispute at a finish line with an employee there, calls Ja, Ja and 9 people show up, threaten the employee, and tell him he's gonna get it when he gets off work. And I think there was I want to say, it doesn't say anything about a gun in that one. But anyway, he went there with a bunch of people and were threatening violence on this person. And then the one 3 days after that report comes out about both of those incidents, Ja, how dumb. Anyway, Instagram Live.
I'm not going to rip the guy, right? I don't know how he grew up. I don't know how he lives. I don't know. Like, people do different. People come up different things, different ways, and it is what it is. I'm going to say this: the best thing that could have ever happened was he finally took some games off. He needs help. The dude, not help like he needs help because he's mentally messed up. He needs help from an outside source that says, "Hey, you are now a millionaire. You're one of you came from nothing." I'm in basketball. I'm not talking about in life. I'm in basketball. Like, he was randomly seen, was at a tournament that no one was there to look at him, and and was able to get a scholarship off of this one tournament that he played in, and became this unbelievable basketball player, for a year in college, and then he can't shoot, and he's able to shoot now, and becomes just an absolute star on the basketball court. Mm-hmm. Okay, now it's time for someone to step in, the Grizzlies, for the Grizzlies, and say, that life's over now. You can't have that life, because if you want to still be about that life, be about that life. Listen to me. If you still want to be about that life, this isn't going to last. Mm-hmm. So if this money is something you love, and this is how you want to be, and you want to continue to make this generational type money for your family and the future of your family, and he's got a kid, I see pictures with him and his kid all the time, then it's over. Like, this is where it has to end now. Yeah. And I'm not telling you to stop hanging out with your boys, but if your boys are part of the problem, then they need to be on the same track. We're done. It's over. Mm-hmm. We're done. Let's take a year and just chill and try to get our heads right.
Yep. His boys. Yeah. I mean, he's not going to have just a year to.
No, I'm not. I'm saying no. I'm not talking about that. That's what I mean. Like, then he has to relay this to his boys, and it's not going to be easy. Like, it's not like it's easy to say from here on this side. Mm-hmm. It's not easy to do, man. You're talking. I mean, it's tough.
Sure. You know what? If he lives a certain lifestyle and it involves guns and violence and being, I don't know, like gang related activity. Somebody was saying, I think it was a Michael Wilbon, or somebody was saying, like, he's been seen several times throwing up Crip signs and stuff. Or no, it was Skip Bayless. Sorry, Michael Wilbon.
Oh, wow. That's a big difference.
It is a big difference.
Like, you saying that came from Michael Wilbon, I take it totally differently than when you say it came from Skip Bayless.
So do I. I love Michael Wilbon. Anyway.
Me too.
Anyway, you know what? And not just him, but a lot of former players that are in the media have talked about that. Jalen Rose had this kind of long rant that was really, really good.
Jalen Rose has done this on people like this quite a few times, because he's the poster child for it.
That's exactly what he said. He said, I am Ja Morant. He said, I was into that same stuff. He said, I was around a lot of those kind of people that were into a crazy lifestyle that was not good for my career and for my maturity and all that kind of stuff. And he said, I was part of all that stuff. And he's like, I had to get my head on straight. I had to grow up, and I had to make sure I got around the right people and that kind of thing. So that's exactly, I mean, thank God a lot of these a lot of these older guys that played before are speaking up about that. And it sounds like he's got a lot of people he can go to that are going to be in his ear in the right kind of way.
They need to get into his ear now. They need to figure out how they should be reaching out to him already, or reaching out to the Grizzlies, or reaching out to somebody.
I'm sure a lot of guys have reached out to him. And so at first they said he's going to be away from the team for at least 2 games. He's going to miss.
That was the start. Yep.
And then Taylor Jenkins yesterday, I think, said, it's kind of indefinite. There's not really a timeline. And then today they said it's going to be at least 4 games. So who knows how much time he's going to miss, but hopefully all the right people are getting in his ear now, like you said, and he starts to understand, wait a second, reset my mentality here. What in the world am I doing?
Right.
I'm going to ruin a lot of potentially great stuff here. If I don't get my head on straight and I don't quit this, whatever kind of lifestyle you want to call that. So I don't know. I mean, I hopefully this, and you know what? I don't think there's any bigger motivator than missing games too.
Yeah.
If he's a competitor, if he really cares about it, missing games should be as loud as anything when it comes to.
And they have been very good this year. I mean,
yep.
So not having him on the floor, maybe losing a couple games, maybe then all of a sudden some teammates become part of this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, hey, bro, we got something going here. And when you're not on the court, it doesn't roll the same way it rolls when you're on the court. Get your act together and get back on the court and let's play ball.
They were one of the top 2 teams in the West for a lot of the year.
Yeah.
And then they had a kind of a bad streak for a while there, and they lost like 6 straight or something like that, and 8 out of 9 or something. Mm-hmm. But they've kind of bounced back since then, and they're back. I think they're back in the 2 seed. They're in the 2 or 3 seed now in the West again, and they already went through their young team playoff run last year. They got far enough where now it feels like they got that 1 year experience that I think every young team usually needs. Yep. And now
make a run.
Now this is the time they can get to the Western Conference Finals. They can maybe even break through and get to the finals. I mean, the West isn't exactly like 1 or 2 really super dominant teams this year. The Nuggets are number 1, but the Grizzlies can beat the Nuggets in a 7-game series.
And the Suns picked up Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? And and so they're going to be a good team. Now, from what I understand, I haven't seen them play, but apparently they have 0 depth.
They had to trade away everybody.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that could hurt you in a 7-game series.
Sure.
Whereas a 1 game, it's a totally different thing. Right. Anyway,
big opportunity for Ja.
Big opportunity.
He's got it. He's got to get his head on.
I hope he does, man. For him, I hope he does. I hope it works out. And I'm never one to say stop hanging out with your boys. But at some point in time, you got to know the ones.
If they're bad for you, you have to.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. When you're making millions and millions of dollars, mm-hmm. He'll make hundreds of millions of dollars if he keeps his head on straight.
Easily.
Hundreds.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you just got to figure it out. It's going to be tough for him. And, it's a life that you basically are starting a second life starting right now.
Yep. You have to. And it's changed. It's a positive change. If he can't break through that mentality, like this makes me a tough guy. This mm-hmm. makes me, credible to certain types of people that I want to be credible for. If he's fixed on that and he can't change that about in his mind, then he's in trouble. Then he's not going to break through it, and he's gonna end up like Gilbert Arenas and a couple other guys that had trouble with doing stupid stuff like this.
Yep.
And so I don't know. But he's going to have enough support, I think, between the team, the rest of the guys in the NBA, and the guys that played in the past. That Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes had that podcast together, and they've talked about like they obviously have aged a little bit and have gotten a little bit more mature. And they're like, we did all that stupid stuff back in the day. It's not worth it. It's dumb. you gotta get your head on straight. Your whole career is going to be a lot better.
Easy to say after you've already done all the stupid stuff, and you know what I mean.
Sure, but that's the thing. Like those guys,
those are the guys.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, good luck to them. I don't really want to see the Grizzlies win. They got a couple guys that aren't very likable, but anyway.
I mean, that's the other thing about the Grizzlies are that Ja Morant attitude is part of the reason why they are where they are, because Ja Morant he's a tough son of a gun, man, and they've got a little bravado, a little, you know what I mean? They've never been there, but you wouldn't know it by watching them. They talk like they've been there forever. You know what I mean? But there's a little bit to that, swag or confidence that you have to have, or cockiness that you have to be able to excel at that level.
Yeah. Yep. You're right about that. I don't know, man. And you know what? There's only 5 weeks or something left of the regular season.
Yep.
So it's the clock's ticking. You got to make your moves now. You got to start playing get to where you're peaking in the next month or so, entering the playoffs.
You do. And speaking of entering the playoffs, have you been paying attention? Have you been paying attention to the LA Lakers?
Yeah, they're they like 7-2 since trading Russell Westbrook.
They are now in the 9 seed. They are in the play-in game as we speak. Now there's 8 seed. How's that work?
10.
But is it 7 to 10? Is in that? Oh, got to play
10,
that other thing.
Or 7 through 10.
7 through 10 play whatever. But they are 2 games. I'm sorry, they're 1.5 games out of the 6th seed.
Yeah, that's right.
They're 2 games away from the 5th seed. Look out, NBA.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
They've got some shooters. They've spread the floor. LeBron hasn't been playing, making Anthony Davis be a star on this team, and he stayed healthy. I'm really excited. I'm excited for Lakers fans like my boy to have something to cheer for.
I gotcha. Yeah. You know what? There are a lot of other teams that have been good all year, not just in the last 10 games.
Sure, but they don't have LeBron James on their team.
No, but they have Nikola Jokic and Ja Morant.
I mean, obviously, the
Joel
Joker.
Embiid.
That's the East. I'm not talking about the West. Yeah, I mean, obviously, the Suns and the Nuggets are going to be up at the top. I mean, that the Nuggets are a tough team to beat.
Yeah,
Jokic is. Oh, did you see that they took away the triple double from
Giannis?
From Giannis the other day at the end of the game? He took a ball and just threw it up towards the backboard so he'd get a rebound.
I was glad they took it away. So
that's a rule. It says that it's not considered a shot if you are purposely missing something to get a rebound or whatever. So like when people throw the ball off the backboard and dunk it, that doesn't count as a shot, rebound, and point. So
yeah, I didn't really know that until the other day.
Yeah, and listening to everybody talk about that, because I know that with all this gambling and betting and everything on all these apps now, there was a lot. It was 1,000. It was plus 1,000. So if you bet $100, you'd get 1,000 back if you bet Giannis to get a triple double in that game.
Really?
So these casinos weren't paying anybody out until they figured out what the real deal was, and they didn't pay anybody. Ended up not paying anybody out.
I was glad. When I first heard about that, I didn't see it until I had heard. I
saw it. It didn't even look. I was like, "Why is he doing?" Because I didn't hear what it was. Just watching ESPN in the background, and I turned it on, and they said he got himself a triple double by doing it.
Yeah, I was disappointed to hear that he did that, because I'm like, Giannis is better than that. I'm surprised that he would do something like that. And then when I saw the video, he did it. It almost looked to me like they were like people were telling him to do it. Like he went down and maybe he already knew, but he kind of stopped and held it for a minute. And then even somebody on the other team came up and just stood right next to him.
He dribbled down to the basket,
I know, but then he stopped and he just held the ball.
Because he was going to do it. And then he realized this is not the right thing to do. And he held the ball and he's like, you know what? It's another triple double. That's what I think happened.
It seemed like people were like,
I guarantee there are people trying to convince him to do it, all in the entire crowd. But that doesn't make it right.
Right.
If the whole crowd's telling you to jump off a bridge, you're not going to jump off a bridge.
That's what. Well, yeah, I'm not even talking about the crowd. I mean more like the team.
The same thing for that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I was glad that they took it away.
Me too. I agree. I agree. Yeah. I agree. Anyway, I don't just popped in my head.
Yeah. No, good call. Okay. Look, we've got. Trying to think of who. I was trying to think of some Kentucky.
We were just talking about the Nuggets. You got Murray over there with the Nuggets. Jamal Murray with the Nuggets. Speaking of the Nuggets and Jamal Murray, let's get to our this week's Mount Rushmore, which Adam has chosen the Mount Rushmore of University of Kentucky basketball players.
That's right.
Because we are both huge Kentucky fans.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about this. There's a ton of great names in Kentucky basketball.
Yeah, but it was a lot harder to me than I thought it would be.
So part of what I was going through this was who are the guys that I like I not necessarily from college, but from the NBA. You know what I mean? Like I really, really like Devin Booker. Mm-hmm. I watched him in college, but was he my favorite UK player?
Right.
So I'm very interested to see how this is going to go. You go ahead. Start us off, bud. Tell us what you got. And did you take anybody that was a year, like one of these one and dones? Your John Walls, and
but there are so many.
DeMarcus Cousins and
Anthony Davis,
and almost said Joel Embiid. What's that guy's name? They ended up getting hurt and barely played at all. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Big, tall, lanky guy. Jamal Murray was one, was he not? Was he? He was a one and done.
I don't remember.
Maybe two, but I'm pretty sure he was a one and done.
Yeah. No, I didn't take any of those guys.
Okay. Julius Randle. Actually, Randle might have played 2 or 3 years.
I think he did. Yeah. I love Julius Randle.
I love Julius Randle in college, dude. He was awesome.
Yeah. And he's on one of the hottest teams in basketball right now. The Knicks are playing very well. So here's what I did. A lot of these, if you Google greatest Kentucky basketball players ever, whatever, there's, plenty of lists, and there are so many guys. This is such a storied program. There are so many guys from the 40s and 50s.
I don't know any of them, so they're not going to be on mine.
Except, I saw a list of 50, and I mean, 70% of them were from back then.
Yeah.
So, and they were the higher up guys. So anyway, yeah, I didn't really take too many of them, but one I did put on is Dan Issel.
Okay. Yes.
Dan Issel is easily one of the best players. And I think
he's on the top 5 of every list that I looked at.
Yeah. He is the all-time leading scorer and rebounder at Kentucky, I'm pretty sure. And that's probably going to stay for a while because there's guys go there for a year or two, and that's it.
And he was only there for 3 years because that was back in the no freshman play. So he did that in 3 years. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll put Dan Issel on there, and then he had a good NBA career, and then he was a NBA coach for a long time. He's in the Hall of Fame. I'm putting a guy on that I remember being one of the best players in college basketball when I started really getting into it. During the Fab Five era and during the UC Final Four run, and Jamal Mashburn.
Oh, Mashburn.
He was also a great NBA player for a long time too. And, but I just remember Jamal Mashburn was so good on those really good Kentucky teams in the early 90s. I think they lost to Christian Laettner to Duke in that Christian Laettner shot.
Yep.
In the Elite Eight, I think it was. during one of his years, and then I think they lost to, I want to say, Michigan in the Final Four. I want to say the following year, something like that. So anyway,
Great years, great teams.
Absolutely. I'm throwing Jamal Mashburn on there. He could do everything, I felt like. I'm putting another older guy on there.
Yeah.
All right. And this is more name recognition than anything.
Okay.
But he was a great player at Kentucky. He was talked about him being a great shooter. He averaged for his career, he averaged like a little more than 17 and 9 rebounds or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think his junior and senior or sophomore and junior years or something, he averaged like 23 or something like that. So, but he had a really good career, and then, played for a while in the NBA, and then became one of the greatest head coaches of all time in the NBA, and still running a very successful organization right now in Miami, Pat Riley.
100%.
I'm throwing Pat Riley on there for all those reasons.
Yep.
And then another one, I'm more of just kind of a favorite sort of thing. And I have a lot of guys that I like just as much as this guy probably, but I really, especially because he just looked so different. And I love left-handed players. I feel like I say that all the time. Tayshaun Prince. I'm putting Tayshaun Prince on there.
Tayshaun Prince is on mine.
Nice. Good.
Tayshaun Prince is on mine. Tayshaun Prince was, when I was really into college basketball, he was the best player on those UK teams. I was at his senior night
against Florida, right?
Against Florida. Billy Donovan and that unbelievable Florida team. There's that 3 years of unbelievable Florida teams they had.
With Horford and Noah.
Corey Brewer. Yep, exactly. Unbelievable. That was really, really cool. And he just, I loved Tayshaun Prince.
Yep.
Loved Tayshaun Prince.
And he played, I threw on this long list, I threw Keith Bogans, because I think they played together on those teams.
Yeah,
right?
I was looking at Keith.
I really liked him too.
Yep. So you got Keith Bogans and you got Jamal McGlure. Like, you remember Jamal McGlure? Just started going through this. Scott Padgett back in the day, one of the greatest shooters. When I used to remember just looking at him, like, because he was like, I feel like he was like 6'10", 7 foot and can shoot. Which, by the way, he was 6'9", so it's pretty big. Chucky Hayes, Nazir Muhammad. There's a lot of good ones. I'm just gonna run through some of these. Travis Ford, remember Travis Ford?
Yep.
From back in the day. Said McGlure. I just love looking at these guys. Sam Bowie, who we all know the whole Sam Bowie deal with. Wasn't that the number one pick in the draft ahead of Michael Jordan? And that's the biggest joke to ever go around. Michael Jordan even shouted him out. Jody Meeks.
55-point game.
Yep. There's a guy in West Virginia, big Kentucky. It's Ashland, Kentucky. Sorry, just outside of West Virginia. Big Kentucky guy, and he's got a Jody Meeks signed 50 whatever point thing in his little office. I see it all the time. Yeah. There's the Rex Chapman. So Rex Chapman is on mine. So I got Tayshaun Prince, Rex Chapman. I already told everybody Tony Delk is on mine. And if you go back and look at stats and stuff, Tony Delk is legit one of the greatest players to play at Kentucky. Not just the fact that my favorite stat of all time, that he set the record for 3-pointers in a championship game that year. I was at my uncle's house. It's a weird place to be. Keith Bogans, we already said him. Rex Chapman, Derek Anderson.
Yep.
Dude, Derek Anderson. We're not going with any of these one and doneers. About Ron Mercer. Couple years in there. Who else do you have on your list?
Antoine Walker.
Kenny Skywalker. That name has been thrown around so many times. I feel like I want to put him on there. I don't have my last one. Oh, I do have my last one. I forgot who my last one was. So I love Jamal Mashburn, but Antoine Walker was my guy. Antoine Walker is going to be the other one on there. That was a heck of a team, man.
Yeah.
That 94-95 team, or 95-96, whichever year that was. Dude, that was a heck of a team.
Yep. They've had a lot of really, really good teams.
Yeah. Yes.
That's why they're Kentucky.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
There you go.
Kentucky Wildcats.
I like it. All right. So that brings us to last, but most certainly not least, is Sommore the Queen. Is that what it's called? The
Queen Chandelier.
Queen Chandelier. That's what it was. Queen Chandelier. And she even said that at one point. I'm gonna be a chandelier. I don't remember how it came up. But anyway, so okay, yeah. What'd you think about Sommore?
I've got to start writing down notes again.
I know. I'm the same way. Like I'm just trying to pull out of my head.
And my head is not valuable for that.
Let's talk this out together.
She, I like the her uncle needed a leg.
That was my favorite joke.
Good.
It was the best joke. And then he said, "I need a knee. I need a knee," because what was that called? Knowledge versus wisdom. Knowledge versus wisdom in your family, and young people have the knowledge with the Google, but they don't have the wisdom. You got to be able to have the wisdom to use the knowledge. I love that.
They bought the black leg is more expensive, so they bought a white one. That was just a thigh all the way down,
and they spray painted UPS brown. Oh, so good. Oh man. And she was going through all the different stuff. Oh man,
a lot of COVID stuff in that.
Sure, there's a lot of COVID stuff she dealt with in COVID and back and forth. She's like most people, like,
she's like, I had a hard time during the pandemic. I'm like, I mean, you and every single person on the planet.
Exactly.
But anyway, she had some good jokes with that too. You know what? I laughed more in this thing than I guess I thought I did. I don't know what kind of expectation I had, but
yeah.
I thought this was really, really good, to be honest with you.
So here's the deal. You can tell she's been doing this forever. Yep. What did they say at the very beginning? It's her fifth self-produced. Oh. They announced or something like her fifth self-produced special that she's just done on her own, and then this one got picked up by Netflix. That's dude, she's been around for a long time. Yeah. And they're talking about her age and all that stuff, and she has a pep talk. She has a pep talk with what she call with her hot pocket.
Yeah, that threw me off for a second. I was like, "What?
Hot pocket?"
And then she went through the whole thing.
Like, oh, don't catch no feelings now.
Two pats.
Two pats. Oh my God, it's so funny. So I'll tell you this. I think she's a seasoned joke teller. She could take a bad story that there's a couple of them where I was like, is this like,
yeah, same.
I don't think this was the best. This was the best story, but then I'm still find myself giggling throughout it. Right. Mm-hmm. And that is the part that tells me she's a good joke teller.
Yeah. Yep.
The Monique stuff and the airplane stuff and we, like we said before, where the bonnets came out against Monique. And she said, I got a cousin, she part of that life. She part of that bonnet life.
And after she explained all that, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I see those people all the time.
Everywhere. Oh yeah. I see them bonnet people everywhere.
Oh man, especially in the neighborhood I
live. Yeah, you ain't kidding where you're at. Them bonnets are out all the time in their pajama pants and house slippers.
Oh, I go around the corner to the plaza. Oh yeah.
Oh, so good. And she started talking about the eyelashes. Like, if you're gonna put the fake eyelashes on, you gotta at least give me a wedge. Give me some kind of heel. Something. Just don't be in no flats with the eyelashes. Yeah. I like that. That was good too. She's really good at what she does. This is the whole thing is for. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of older stuff in it, like older young stuff, which
a lot of culture specific stuff.
There is a lot of culture specific stuff. I like that. Mm-hmm. Make jokes about what you know about.
So, that's what she's always going to do. That's what everybody does, I guess. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it's harder to relate if you don't.
Yeah, if you're not from that, if you're not about that life, right. If you're not from that culture, right? Like there's going to be some people that hear Bonnet, like whatever, and Bonnet's walking around, be like, oh, she's talking about Amish people in the airport.
Yeah,
You know what I
that was the
mean?
first thing, and then as she was talking about, I was like, oh,
Yeah, well, we're white, so we thought bonnets as of Amish people, and then you start listening, you're like, oh, she's talking about that bonnet. No, yeah, 100%. There is, and I I I like that. That's fun for me. I like for it's good to experience different cultures and hear people get more specific about stuff that that's never in your life.
yeah, yep, that's true. Yeah, but anyway, overall I really liked it. I liked it a lot.
I didn't write a number down for it yet, so I'd have to go off the top of my head. Do you want to tell me what you were?
You want me to influence you a little bit?
Nah, don't influence me. I'm just gonna do it.
I can tell you my number.
So I'm gonna tell you this. I don't like. I laughed. I maybe hard laughed once or twice, and I had some good laughs. But there was a lot of it where you're just listening, you just kind of smile, like, okay, oh, all right. So I don't know that I would get. It's not less than a 3.5, but it's not as high as like something maybe into the 4.5s, or it's not. I don't even know that it's a 4. I'm gonna go 3.8.
Okay,
which is really good.
it is good.
Anything right around that 4 is a good special. I would suggest people to watch this special for sure. I'm sure I could watch it again and laugh just as hard. And now I can't stop thinking about the knee joke. The leg joke is hilarious.
That's good. I already had mine written down. I had a 4.1. I was first
All right,
number
so
that
we're
popped
pretty
into
close.
my mind was 4, and then that was like toward the end of it. And then she finished. I'm like, you know what? That was better than I even thought it was going to be. I'm going to give her an extra point for that.
Yeah, she did a really good job. I thought it was great.
Yeah,
that was a great special.
it was good. Yeah, it was very good. Yep. So there you go. I guess unless there's anything else, if there's anything else you want to talk about, I'm good. Or we can pick our stuff for next week.
Let's pick our stuff for next week, man. What do you think?
We know we're going to talk a lot about the tournament, but we'll still do Reese's Mount Rushmore and comedy, even if we have to speed through it.
Yep.
So
I'll make the Mount Rushmore. I'll think of something real quick to make the Mount Rushmore NCAA themed, as we've done here recently anyway.
Smart.
Who's the number 1 team in the country right now? Is it Purdue? Are we still looking at Purdue? Like, I don't even know the number 1 team.
Kansas or
Kansas.
Maybe.
Kansas hasn't lost in a while. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Kansas. I don't know that there is a number 1 team in the country, to be honest with you.
It was like that last year too.
Yep, it was. We talked about it last year too.
Okay, so while you are looking at that, anything NCAA related. Could be March Madness moments or something like that.
Houston is number 1 in the country right
Houston.
now. Houston is number 1 in the country.
Excuse me. While you do that, would you like me to throw out a comedy?
Mick Cronin is number 2 in the country. God, I hope Colorado beats them.
He just won some Coach of the Year award. Oh, he got Pac-12 Coach of the Year, and then some other publication made him National Coach of the Year.
I hope he loses in the first round.
UCLA is good. They just lost somebody. Oh, the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. They just lost him. I don't know. I think at least for the conference tournament, and then they're going to reevaluate before the tournament starts.
Okay.
Anyway, so comedy. I'm going to go.
Are you going to do it?
Christopher James Rock.
Yes. This was one of the most polarizing specials. I haven't seen it, but it was live. The first live Netflix special.
Yep.
And I'm telling you right now, this was on Sports Talk. They talked about it on Sports Talk Radio. Like, this was a very polarizing comedy special. Probably because it got more hype because it was the first ever live comedy special. So you got more people listening to it. But from the couple jokes that the one guy was talking about, sounds a lot like what we went to go watch.
Yes.
I feel like we've heard most of these jokes.
I'm gonna probably disappoint you, but be honest here. I couldn't wait.
You
I had to
saw it.
watch it.
You did.
So I watched it. I'm gonna watch it again. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm no matter what, I want to watch it again anyway.
It sounds like the Will Smith jokes got better as they
Way
go.
better.
Way better.
So
Okay.
he does way more. When we saw him, he had hardly any. It wasn't that long after it
He even
happened.
said he didn't want to really do it, and then he kind of went into like 2-3 quick ones and got in and got out.
And that's all. I was just about to say something else about it. That's all I'm going to say because I want you to watch it.
Does he still do the stuff with his girls being and stuff like that?
He does all that stuff.
All that
Yes.
stuff still in there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So I'm interested. This is going to be one of the first times for me that I get to see something where you see it kind of in its infancy and see where it ends up.
Yep.
I like that.
That's cool. Yep. So there you go. Selective Outrage is what it's called. It's on Netflix. I was a little bit worried. I was like, they're not going to just have it live and then not have it available anymore, right? And then
Netflix isn't doing that. They're making they put that much money into it. It's going to be on there for a while.
I would think, yeah. As a matter of fact, it debuted while I was at the Sklar Brothers show.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
That's fun. Nobody watched it because they're watching that comedy.
That's right. Yeah,
special.
they stayed home to watch Chris Rock. Yep.
Oh man, that's funny. Okay, nicely done. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. We are going to go with the Mount Rushmore of NCAA basketball announcers.
Oh,
You can go color or you can go play by play.
all right. I'm going.
You can go Gus Johnson.
I'm going white guys first. I'm going. Oh, that's not what you meant by color.
Oh, sorry.
I thought you meant by color.
Color commentator.
Joking.
Adam. Let me tell you, it is Adam, right?
It's pronounced Adam with an A. Yeah.
With an A. Okay. 100% sure. We're not bringing race into this. Sommore did it well enough.
Yeah.
Let's go announcers.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Announcers. You can use Bobby Knight from his brief NCAA announcing when he screamed in the middle of a game at people in front of him for cheering. That was one of my favorite. I was watching that game. I'm trying to do a job back here. I can't see the game. Hilarious. Don't put Bobby Knight behind anybody. Just put him on the floor. Don't put him one row above the floor. Put him on the floor.
In fact, keep him at home because he doesn't have anything to be
terrible.
mad about there.
He's terrible. He was not a good color commentator at all. And he did it for like 5 years.
Did he?
People like really liked him. I'm like, this dude is.
I mean, his knowledge of basketball is endless, but
sure, but yeah,
it's a different thing to have that knowledge. And
but he's
to
a
be
cranky old man.
Yeah, being a good broadcaster with that knowledge is different for sure.
Yeah. So you've got who's the guy from Duke that's on ESPN? Not Jay Will, but the lawyer, big tall guy,
Jay Billis.
Jay Billis. And then you've got guys like
he'll be on mine.
and then you got guys like
start
Gus Johnson. He's going to be on mine. I'll tell you that right now. So this could be a lot of fun. Yeah, really. I mean, and then like Hank Greenberg and guys like that did college basketball for a long time. So this could be tough, but Billy Packard and these guys all did college basketball, college football. They did everything. So you can use any of them.
Yep.
Andy Mack announced Andy Mack was on the radio call for the Christian Laettner shot.
Marty Brenneman was.
Oh, was I wrong? Did I call the wrong guy out?
Marty Brenneman.
I did call the wrong guy out because
I was just gonna say as you started saying that, I was gonna say
exactly
Marty Brenneman's
and
on that
I
list.
totally screwed that up and called Andy Mack out for that. Sorry.
But Andy Mack is an NCAA announcer.
He's in like 6 announcing Hall of Fames. He's in the Hockey Hall of Fame. He did the Cincinnati Stingers for years, or Buffalo. I think he's from Buffalo. I think he did the Buffalo Sabres or something like. He's announced it all. And then he couldn't talk anymore.
Mac. And then he was starting to get his voice back a little and then did elder football games for a couple of
I
years.
do remember that. Yeah, it wasn't coming back a little. That was just people like, we love Andy Mack. We
Yeah.
got to get this man a job.
Still bad.
His voice was, it was a lot. And, there's a lot of that. He had like a paralyzed vocal cord or something where it just clinches up on him every now and then.
That's got to be a strange feeling.
Especially when your voice is your job.
It's your livelihood. Yeah.
Anyway,
That's nuts.
so by the way, Marty Brenneman could be used because he did he was on the radio calling the game when Christian Leitner made that shot.
Oh my God, that's right.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
Wow.
Crazy.
I've totally forgot about that.
Yeah. There you go. That's what we're gonna do.
Good call. That's a
All
good
right.
one. Right on.
All right. So Chris Rock, Mount Rushmore of NCAA basketball announcers. And from there we'll just talk NCAA basketball.
Can't wait.
Don't forget to turn your headlights on.